Today I'm going to make vegetable beef barley soup, but with a twist. I'm going to show you, we're going to do some frozen veg. I prefer frozen peas, and I also prefer the green beans that are frozen. The canned ones seem to get a little mushy. So we're going to gather all our ingredients up first as I narrate this. Of course, we're going to use celery, carrots, and onion. As you know, that's called a mirepoix. Wash your celery, wipe it with a paper towel, or just wash it really well. And cut these up to the size that your family likes. I wouldn't make them too small though, because they'll get mushy by the time everything cooks together. But you do them how you like. If you like big pieces or small pieces. I'll tell you what the twist is in a little bit. But vegetable beef barley is one of my favorites, and certainly was my sister's favorite too. So, into the bowl. And what's next is our carrots. Of course, I washed and peeled those. Again, make them the size that you like. If your kids don't like them in chunks, I suggest that you can peel them, and after they're peeled, keep peeling them, and then you get these little tiny slivers, and you can chop those up, and they'll practically disappear in the soup. Yet the flavor will still be there. So we like them about that size. Put them in the bowl with my celery here. And yeah, let me grab my bench scraper. I should have done that in the first place. Easier to get them all in the bowl at once, especially if you don't want to touch your onions or whatever. Speaking of onions, I cut off the blossom and I'm leaving that root on there. See the root? And we'll just get one onion in here. Little goes a long way. My onions have been giving me a hard time lately, as you can see in this video. I have to kind of pick with my fingernail here, but that's all right. We'll get her done. Okay, I decided to just do the video silent and then narrate it after the fact. I don't know, just trying something different here. I'm going to cut these up, kind of a rough chop. They don't need to be minced. Again, these will saute down, and before you know it, they will just be flavoring. It's not like you're going to take a big bite of onion, Maybe you can see better this way. And all that's left is this little bitty piece. Cut those up. Keep going. There we go. I have my Steelers shirt on today because this is called Sunday soup. We like to make soup in the morning, go to church, come back, and sometimes I'll even make fresh bread to go with it. But there's your mirepoix. That's going to go in first in this version. Potatoes. You say potato. I say potato. See, I have a flat edge there. Then I roll it. Flat edge, roll it. Flat edge. That way it doesn't slip around on the board. And if the board slips too much, though, just put a wet rag under it. Cut it, flip it, cut it, flip it. That way it's a little more secure. And you'll notice that I'm leaving some of the skin on. Not a lot, but just some. You can put this in your compost pile. You can fry it up in a deep fryer. The ends, your peel, I'm just throwing mine away. Yike, look at that. Don't throw the whole potato away. Just cut off the bad. It's fine. Now, I like that they're in this shape because I can make very even cuts with this. They're good for making French fries in this cut too, as you can imagine. But I'm just going to make little tiny squares, and then I'll keep going on that. You get the idea. But I'm not washing them first. I'll wash them later. Who's this little guy? My little count. You sit there. He's my newest. I probably have 3 other ones. Garlic helper. He crushes my garlic. So what I do with this is I just cut off these 2 ends that are tough. 1, flip it over. 2, a lot of the peel will come off just like that. Okay, let me grab another one. I'm going to put this in my soup as well, just for flavor, so I want it crushed. See that little green spot? I'm not really worried about it. I'm not really that worried about it. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I shake, shake, shake. instead of putting it in a big processing. Most of the peel will come off in that manner if you shake it hard enough, of course, because I'm doing a video. Of course, there's going to be a little left that I have to peel off with my fingernail. Probably because it's a little bit old with that green part in it. Okay, let's get them in my count. Get it? It's garlic. Get it? A vampire. Get it? Okay, so to help it along, I'm just going to put that in too. And I'll put the other big one in there. So you just put the lid on, push it down. No effort at all. 1, 2, 3, 4. And honestly, look at how fast this goes. Boom, shakalaka. Crushed garlic. Next, this is one of my favorite things if I have enough for soup. Cabbage, but look how brown that is. No worries. Waste not, want not, y'all. Look at that, like new. Get these big leaves out of the way and cut the other end off. It just is a little oxidized from the air. Probably could use it, but I'm not going to. I don't have a lot of cabbage. I wish I had a lot more for it in the soup. I really prefer it like that. But we'll just chop off the core and then get it in bite-sized pieces. This will cook really fast, so this will go in with a lot of the vegetables at the end, like the green pepper, or excuse me, green pepper. There's no green pepper in this. Yeah, that would be a whole different soup now, wouldn't it? But there's my cabbage. If there's big white pieces, just throw them off. Just go through, make sure. Oop, there's another one. Get rid of that. Okay? Just like that. They're a little bitter, those hard white pieces. You want the leafy green part. What's next? Let's see. Tomatoes. Now, I'm using a can of crushed. You can use whichever tomatoes you want, and you can use a smaller can. These are the San Marzanos, and we're going to get going now. We got everything all set that we need, and here comes the twist really soon, but let's get sauteing first. Usually, I will saute my beef first. I will sear it, but I'm not going to. I'm going to use a little olive oil, a little butter, and get that warm. And instead of the beef, oops, the butter needs help. And just get it little smaller pieces just to get it melted down and hot. There we go. So, like I said, let's get this warmed up. You don't want to wait for that, so I'll be right back. Now, here's the twist. Instead of that, I'm going to use ground beef. I usually use steak or cubed beef. Instead of doing the beef, let's get the mirepoix in now that the skillet, the Dutch oven, if you will, is hot, with our olive oil and our little bit of butter. Butter will brown those onions up lickety split. That's what I like. Just so they're translucent, not really brown, just a little bit. Okay, so they've cooked down. It's been a couple of minutes. Now let's get the meat in. Like I said, I'm doing this in reverse. I've never made veggie beef soup with the ground beef, but I'm giving it a go because that's all I have. If I wait to get some steak or whatever, I might not make it, but believe me, I think this is going to be delicious just how it is. Let's get that browned up. In a little bit, I'll put in the garlic, but not now because the garlic might scorch. So let's get it pretty browned first. Okay, BRB. There we go. Get some garlic in there. If he doesn't come out all the way, I just tend to shake it out, and it works pretty good. But if not, I put a little bit of water in, and the rest comes out. So 1 minute, 2 minutes, about 6, 7 minutes later. There's not a lot of fat in there, as you can see, or else I would drain it. But here's my clean, rinsed potato cubes. They're going to go in. Now, of course, they take longer to cook, don't they? So, just plain water. But if you have broth, use it, or stock. I'm going to help it along with some Better Than Bouillon, the beef kind. You know, I like that brand. Okay? And here's a little tip, too. I want to show you when you're scooping, not just bouillon, but other things. Instead of scooping the spoon like that, flip it over. Use the back side of it. And watch why. I just push that in there. Okay? And instead of using my finger to clean off the spoon, I don't have to. It just comes off the back a lot easier. Ta-da! There's a little cheat for you. Okay, it's been a while. I'm cooking on those potatoes. And let's take a look at things. I better slow this down now. Soup likes to be hugged, not boiled. But to get it going, I wanted to get it to a boil first. We can add in the rest of our things. Here's our shredded cabbage. Okay, everything herein will cook really fast. Here's our green beans and peas. Look what else I'm going to use here. I use a can of corn. You can use frozen. I love frozen too. But I use a can of creamed corn also. Now, I wouldn't like to just eat this plain, but in a soup, it'll thicken it up. You'll never know it's in there. It'll just lend a lot of good flavor. Okay, now here comes our crushed tomatoes. Again, you don't have to use this many, but I like a beefy tomato flavor broth when I do this. These are those San Marzano, like I said. I really do prefer them. They're good. You can chop up your other garden tomatoes too, really fine. I think I'm going to need more water because what I'm going to put in next uses a lot of the broth. But let's stir it up. It's starting to look really like vegetable soup, isn't it? But I called it something. I called it vegetable beef barley. So let's cook this down. Do I need more beef bouillon? Do I need more water? Here comes the barley. But not yet. It has to cook, like I said. Get those potatoes softened. That's the key. Okay? So I'm going to wait about maybe 20 minutes and check it. And let's check it. Ooh, it looks more like vegetable soup, doesn't it? And it's simmering. It's not boiling. That's really important, I think. Let's check a potato. That'll be our little test. Can I add the barley? Okay, let me cut this. Well, not with a spoon, Shirley. Grab a little knife and see. Yep, it's tender. It's not mushing apart, but it is tender. And keep in mind now, the barley's got to cook in here too, so the potatoes will continue to cook. I'm going to taste it for salt, pepper, and if it needs a little bit more bouillon, but it's good. It's really good. Good depth of flavor. Salt and pepper. Pepper does make me sneeze. I'm like a cartoon. Okay, just a little bit. I like ground pepper, but this'll do. Now for the barley. How much? Barley blows up, trust me. You do not. Err on the side of less is more. I'm going to do about a half a cup in this big pot. Maybe a tad more, but about a half. Just spread that on the top, and then you'll stir it in. This likes to suck up your broth, especially the next day. You have to add maybe more water if you're reheating this. But again, on a simmer, and do I need more water? Nah, not really. Okay. I think it's fine how it is. Okay. Smells really, really good, you guys. And it's pretty hearty. You know, a lot of good stuff in there. And yeah, I use the ground beef, but the ground beef is giving it a kick butt flavor. So let's simmer it, and see how we do. Here we go. Oh, it's thickened up. The barley has thickened it up even more. Again, you can just add your broth or water, whatever you like, but I think it looks good. So let's serve it up. I'm hoping for some cabbage in there. I love the cabbage. Yeah, I got some. Okay. And one more. Okay. And there it is. Vegetable beef barley soup, but with ground beef. And it was delicious. I hope you'll make it. Let me know if you do.